Racing League is in the land where dreams come true for the Indy 200 at Walt Disney World. Today is the start of the road to the 80th running of the Indianapolis 500-mile race. Hello and welcome. I'm Paul Page, and this is the start of a great year in motorsports for us here at ABC. We've got so much to show you. Consider the Indy cars. Well, this year they will race in separate series. There'll be the IndyCar World Series, which you're familiar with, and the new Indy Racing League. And we'll have coverage of both right here on ABC Sports. Now, what is the Indy Racing League? Well, the IRL, as it is called, is a concept originated by the president of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Tony George. He envisions an affordable American oval track series, a league of tracks hosting the Indy cars. The rules for the construction of the cars, exactly like they were for last year's Indianapolis 500. And the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is very definitely a part of the league. This year, they have reserved up to 25 of the 33 starting positions in the race for IRL members, provided, of course, that they meet a yet-to-be-announced minimum speed requirement. And of course, the 20 cars that have qualified for today's race have already crossed the first bridge on the road to the Indianapolis 500-mile race. The IRL season will end at the Indianapolis 500, and so that means the 96 and the 97 season will have at least 5 great league events. And what does it mean for drivers and teams? Well, many of the drivers see this as a wonderful opportunity to show their IndyCar skills. Consider the story of the most deserving Buddy Lazier. Here in this inaugural event, he has his very first pole. Here's Jack Arute.
Well, Paul, Buddy has competed in some 66 IndyCar type events, but for car owner Ron Hemmelgarn and Buddy Lazier, first pole position, his dream has already come true. But Buddy, you're going to try and make somebody else's dream come true today as well.
Well, yeah, that's right. Our team owner Ron Hemmelgarn is in a bit of a battle, and so we sort of attributed this race to him.
He's in fact dedicated his efforts today. He said he'd like to make his dream come true for Hemmelgarn. Now, the man that was supposed to be and had earned the outside pole position, he saw it go up in smoke yesterday with only 4 minutes to go in the final practice. Newcomer Richie Hearns, who had been fast all week, had earned the outside pole position, but in the final practice session of the day, he came together in turn 1 with Eddie Cheever, a veteran of the Indy 500. Both cars were wrecked beyond repair. They went back to work, brought up backup cars. They're at the back of the field, both cars. And for Hearns, Gary Gerald, that's a tough place to come from.
Well, he found out firsthand, Jack, that sometimes dreams can turn into nightmares. But here's Richie Hearn, their crew. They've worked the entire night around the clock. They were loaned a car. They've got it race ready. It hasn't been run at speed. Richie, what is your biggest apprehension or concern now?
Well, one of my concerns is going to be just some of the cars in front of me. I really haven't run the car at speed, so I don't know actually exactly how it's going to handle over a period of a full tank yet. And, you know, my main goal is really just to finish the race and get this whole thing underneath my belt.
He wanted to start in the front row. He had the spot until the final minutes of practice. Now he'll work from the back. Paul?
Well, you know, as you talk about the mix of rookies and veterans, we've got a rookie on our broadcast team, though he's a great IndyCar champion, Danny Sullivan, who spun then won the 1985 Indy 500. What about that mix, Danny?
Well, we've got a lot of experience here. We've got former champ Arie Luyendyk. We have former Indy pole sitters, Roberto Guerrero and Scott Brayton. And then we got some rookies with a lot of experience, but in different classes. Richie Hearn, Buzz Calkins, Davey Hamilton, Tony Stewart. And then we've got a guy that's got both. We've got Buddy Lazier, who's got a lot of IndyCar experience, but none in a competitive car. And he gets to ride for Ron Hemmelgarn, and boom, he's on the pole position. The question's going to be, is experience or youth going to do it today in the winner's circle?
Well, we hope you get that voice cleared up. Let's go down to Gary Gerald, Eddie Cheever, one of the veterans.
I thought maybe drivers were the only guys who might be speechless at this point. Eddie, we're concerned now about what may happen. We saw veteran and youth having a problem yesterday in that practice session. How key is that going to be to the outcome of this race today?
I think it's going to be key to this race as it is to every other race. It was an unfortunate incident yesterday, and
I think he didn't quite know where he was on the track, and he bumped into the back of me, but those things happen. I've done it myself when I started racing, but we're ready for the race, and I think it's great to be here at Disney.
You've got a veteran and a youngster charging from the back. Should be a great story, Paul.
Of course, we've got a veteran on our team, three-time Indianapolis 500 winner, Bobby Unser. Bobby, what about this track?
Well, it's a tri-oval, but I'll guarantee you one thing. It's got 3 totally different turns with different personalities, Paul. For example, it's a brand new track, so all the drivers that are going to be here are going to have the same experience as the other ones. Time won't make any difference to anybody because it being new. Now, another thing, it's wide open throttle all the way around this racetrack, with the exception of going into turn 1, they have to back off a little bit. Now, it's fast. Elevation changes in every turn, and you'll watch that on your television set. Number 3 turn is probably the hardest because that's where we've seen most of the accidents. Number 1 turn should be where we see most of the passing. All in all, though, hey, it's one nice racetrack.
Of course, part of the deal here is to try and create some new race fans. There is one of them, Michael Ovitz, the president of the Walt Disney Company. He was down here when the track first opened, and he was excited about coming back and seeing this race right in the middle of Walt Disney World as you look across the Seven Seas Lagoon to the Magic Kingdom. We'll be right back.
ABC Sports coverage of the Indy 200 at Walt Disney World. Brought to you by the Walt Disney World Resort in Florida. Make the dream come true. Goodyear, #1 in tires. Head and Shoulders, because great hair can have flakes. And new Actron, the pain reliever that's so small because it's so powerful.
Well, here at the Walt Disney World Speedway a little while ago, the close of the entertainment part of the ceremony. Now we're ready for a very special moment. Here's Jack Arute.
And Paul, this is a moment we've been waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, to officially start the inaugural running of the Indy 200 at Walt Disney World, I would like to introduce the Vice Chairman of the Board of the Walt Disney Company, Roy E. Disney.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
Over 50,000 people in the stands here. The owners of these cars are so excited. One of them, Jonathan Byrd, a long-time IndyCar owner. Jack Arute.
And Paul, he's waited for a long time for this opportunity. What are your thoughts, Jonathan Byrd, with this opportunity for you?
I'm so excited. This is a lifetime, waiting for a lifetime of dreams to come together. What an opportunity it is. This is the second biggest crowd I've ever seen on an IndyCar oval race. And I mean, this is back to racing roots. For all the midget guys out there, all the guys that run those weekly stock car shows, hey, it can happen. Dreams do come true, and it starts at Disney World.
Gary Gerald.
The rookie car owner for Richie Hearn, John Della Pena. The first time to be racing Indy cars, all the drama of the last 12 hours. What kind of emotions are running through you right now, John?
Oh, I've been to the highest highs and the lowest lows this weekend. You know, Gary, we've been doing these interviews for a couple of years now, and it seems like, you know, we keep going up and down, but we're here for the duration, so we'll see what happens.
Have a good, safe day.
Thank you.